What's up, everybody? Crocodile King here. Welcome to my reaction to the actual season finale of Death Battle Season 8. Saitama versus Popeye. So, this is going to be probably one of the most bizarre matchups they've ever released, but I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of nervous for Saitama because I'm kind of rooting for him to win, but he's going up a character that could use Toon Force like the mask, and we know that Toon Force basically makes you omnipotent. So, as usual, I'm gonna wait for the analysis to see how this goes out, but I'm kind of thinking Popeye is going to win. But again, we'll wait for the analysis and see how it goes. Let's get into it. Okay, we're all ready to start. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure you support the official release link in the description, and let's just not waste any more time and get into it. Saitama versus Popeye in 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go, final one of the year. Saitama, the One-Punch Man.
Popeye,
The
the
Sailor
Sailor
Man.
Man.
East versus West. Old versus new.
Healthy eating versus basic exercise.
These two
Wow.
warriors may seem ridiculous, but their unassuming exteriors belie impossible strength.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Here we go.
Life is pain, brutal and short. The challenges we face during our brief sojourn on this tiny blue marble are what make us human. They light a fire in our soul. They make it all worth something. Without them, we are lost.
Yeah, it's a little early in the day for an existential crisis,
Yeah.
but luckily I came prepared.
For this failed salaryman, all it took to get that fiery passion back was to save this butt-chin child from a crab monster in underwear. That was a sentence.
This
Yeah.
man was Saitama, and he was going to be a superhero.
And so he trained,
And
pushing his
trained,
body
and
beyond
trained.
its limits and shattering the boundaries of humanity.
So hard his friggin' hair fell out.
Saitama's strength
Yeah.
grew exponentially day by day, with the goal of becoming the greatest hero who ever lived.
And much to his horror, that's exactly what
He
he
did.
got.
All it took was one punch. He became too strong. He became
Sorry,
the
I
one,
had to.
the only, the infamous Caped
Baldy.
Baldy.
But anyone who's cool knows him as
The One-Punch Man.
As in, he can't help but beat almost every opponent he's faced in exactly one punch. One friggin' punch. And this is a universe with
Yeah.
some pretty whacked out monsters. Like a giant who's over 1/4 kilometer tall and can stomp city-sized craters into the earth.
Or an Esper who can effortlessly pull
That's all he's known
giant
as, is
meteors
Saitama.
from outer space.
Or
Wow,
a monster
he's younger
king
than me.
who shaved
Holy
off
crap.
a continent from the Earth's surface and lifted it into the stratosphere. And Saitama's never even broken so much as a sweat fighting any of them.
During their battle, that same Monster King absorbed this huge chunk of the Earth's core and fired it at Saitama.
Who blocked it by squirt gunning some lava at it.
Yes.
The lava he was bathing in.
He was bathing in lava.
naked. And then he punched him. Surprise.
Saitama's created after images just by hopping side to side, defeated a martial arts master with his butt, and
Yep.
survived the inhospitable vacuum of
Gross.
space after being kicked all the way to the moon and before jumping back to Earth in about 16 seconds. That's 8% the speed of light.
Kinda like the time he blocked attacks from this alien dude who stated to move near light speed or punch so fast his fist starts to blue shift. You know, that thing that happens when you approach the speed of light?
Saitama utilizes his absurdly superhuman strength and speed with techniques like his devastating normal punch. And if he wants to amp it up, the
Serious punch.
consecutive normal punches.
Are you
Consecutive
kidding
normal
me?
punch.
Those are his attack names? What kind of self-respecting anime protagonist is he?
Plain and simple, he's a satire of one. Instead of seeing his journey from the beginning and enjoying his struggle to the top, we join him when he's already there.
Basically,
Pretty
imagine
much.
if Goku went Super Saiyan in his fight against Jackie Chun. Kinda sucks all the drama out of it, doesn't it?
And
Yeah.
that's the point. Far from the power fantasy the genre is known for, Saitama's life became an existential nightmare. Without suitable conflict, the struggle that had heretofore defined him became meaningless.
Wow.
His new reality was inescapably boring.
Which is really
Like
saying
overwhelming
something when he can
strength is
decimate mountains
boring,
without even hitting
actually.
them, or shatter asteroids that rank a 9 on the Torino scale. For those not in the Torino, that's equal to 1 trillion tons of TNT. This guy's
Damn.
training must have been insane.
100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run. Do it every single day.
You've got to be shitting me.
It doesn't make sense because it's not allowed to make sense. To be fair though, to someone who isn't already a trained soldier or athlete, keeping that workout routine every day for years is pretty much impossible.
While 100 push-ups and sit-ups are technically doable, especially if you space them out, doing 100 squats and then running half a marathon every single day would absolutely destroy your legs.
Put simply, effective workouts involve shredding muscle fibers at the micro level, then allowing them time to repair themselves more durable than before. This repair process requires hydration, consuming protein and carbohydrates, and lots of sleep.
But Saitama's workout schedule doesn't give them time to repair, which means he was basically just ripping himself to shreds over and over and over. After a few
Oh my
days,
God.
he shouldn't even have been able to move, but he just kept going.
Just
There
did.
might be an explanation. Take the brilliant scientist Dr. Genus, whose half-century of research into evolution Saitama erased in, well, one punch. According to Genus's hypothesis, Saitama's training broke his limiter.
Basically, every living thing on Earth has a limit to their natural abilities. At some point, no matter how badass they are, they'll plateau. Wait a minute. Have I peaked? I gotta go to the gym!
Well, Saitama trained so hard, he literally defied the laws of nature and reality.
For a
He
meteor in
just
one
breaks
punch.
the logic of his
Raided
world.
the moon
He
by-
crushed the
raided
entire
the moon.
field of evolutionary biology in the palm of his hand.
And while he has stated that his strength did eventually stop growing, it's pretty clear he's never gotten close to showing it off in full.
Such as when he fought the godlike alien conqueror Lord Boros, and finally broke out his serious punch. A blow where he punches a little harder than normal.
And reflected Boros' collapsing star-roaring cannon. Now you see, that's an attack name. An energy blast that was going to blow up the friggin' planet. That's over 50 zetatons of TNT. Like a quadrillion of the world's strongest nukes going off at
all
once.
at once.
Despite his obvious and overwhelming power, Saitama's accomplishments were never officially recognized. As if no one in their right minds could believe a psych ward Charlie Brown could save the world.
Well, he doesn't seem to mind. Almost as if being removed from anything resembling conflict gave him a perspective on how tropey and contrived his world is. Only Saitama's
Come on,
the
I'm
only
hungry.
one in on the joke, because who cares about how far up their own ass a supervillain is when you can just chill at home with your buds and play video games?
Maybe that was the real lesson all along. Not to value our lives based on our accomplishments, but on the time we spend living and enjoying life's simple pleasures.
I'll leave that to Saitama, and I can't think of anything more pleasurable than punching so hard my name becomes a byword for literally unbeatable. The dude is the undisputed king of broken anime characters, because until Saitama finds his equal, he's gonna end all his fights in one punch!
I guess that takes care of that.
Holy crap.
Popeye the Sailor Man, hero, adventurer, sailor, man.
Oh, two against one, huh? How do you like that?
Man, he sounds like he smokes a pack of Marlboro Factories every day.
Because he does.
And if you ever wanted to know what angry cat sex sounds like, he can sing.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
How exactly do you know?
Yeah.
Never mind. Popeye's origins are humble. Born to the cruelly named Poop Deck Pappy, Popeye was, immediately upon birth, horrifically ugly. So ugly, his father fled in embarrassment of his spawn and never returned.
So Popeye grew up with a chip on
Boomstick
his
would know
shoulder
that all
and a
too
pop
well.
in his eye, especially after discovering his higher calling, beating the snot out of people.
Don't worry, Popeye's fists are righteous, only spilling the snot of those who deserve it. Inspired by his adopted father, Whaler Joe, Popeye set out to put his combat prowess to the test and join the Navy, becoming a true sailor man.
It was there he learned the sweet science of boxing and to battle against World War II era racial stereotypes. I'm being non-specific, not just for sensitivity, but because there are so many examples.
Originating in the era
Yeah.
of rubber hose animation, Popeye's body is essentially made of, well, rubber, able to stretch, twist, squish, and squash any way he likes.
Or rev up his arm for a punch that'll
Where's
knock
wall
you
awareness?
around the
He's
planet.
basically the
Popeye's
mask.
punches are fascinating, since they can disincorporate their targets into composite elements, like turning anchors into fishhooks, an alligator into handbags, and several Native Americans. You know, I don't even want to know.
I think the
Yeah.
reason's pretty simple, Wiz. He's a cartoon. He can basically do whatever he wants. He can shoot fire from his corncob pipe, pull a canyon closed, punch bolts of lightning out of the air, and even give the sun a black eye.
Judging by the distance the sun is from the Earth, as well as the time it took for the high striker
Oh my
puck to reach
God.
it, the puck must have been moving at 500 times the speed of light. In order to generate that force, Popeye must have swung his fist just as fast. Hell, he's even shadowboxed so fast, he somehow occupied 2 places at once and hit himself.
So,
What?
was he just born this way? Is being ugly the secret to pulling
Oh my
insane
God.
bullshit superpowers out of your ass? Because if so, you might want to get on
It's
that, buddy.
Toon Force Wiz.
No.
Or
The
Boomstick.
secret to Popeye's immense physical strength is simply the virtue of nutrition.
I
Oh.
knew you'd find a way to make it lame.
Yeah.
Specifically, Popeye has spent his life consuming a miracle herb that has turned him from a mere sailor into a veritable god. Spinach.
Propaganda straight from the bean counters at Big Vegetable. You'll never get me to eat my grains, damn you! It's only animal flesh and grain alcohol for me!
Originating in Persia, Spinacia oleracea is a leafy green nutrient and antioxidant-rich
My
vegetable that
God.
can help prevent cancer and reduce blood pressure.
And apparently imbue your biceps with the power of God and anime.
While a normal can of spinach contains about 44 calories, when used in Popeye's world, its effects are multiplied. Not only does it immediately increase Popeye's already impressive strength and speed even further, it makes him virtually impervious to harm.
It lets him fly, turn invisible, shapeshift his body into literally anything, and even survive the universe getting turned off. That's right, this big whatever
Turn
the hell
off?
that thing is apparently God, and he turned off reality in order to kill Popeye and his friends. Cause why not? Except guess what? Popeye was fine. Why? Because he eats his spinach.
I wonder what its nutritional content is like. Let's find out with math. A single can of spinach in Popeye's world was once able to grow a beanstalk so tall it reached into outer space, all the way to a nearby solar system, and shattered this stylized yellow star. By measuring the volume of this spinach stalk and including the caloric density of regular spinach, we can calculate one single can of Popeye's spinach
my God.
contains over 46 undecillion calories. That's over 700 octillion times greater than the total calories the average person will consume over their entire life.
That's over 46 million Yoda tons of TNT. Enough to destroy, well, a star. Or enough to punch your annoying neighbor so hard that when they land, they tilt the Earth.
By measuring the angle of the planet after tilting, we can determine its axis was adjusted by about 13 degrees in less than a second. That's a speed of about 1.8 million meters per second.
I wonder, is that enough to power a rocket ship so fast it travels backwards in time?
Son of Black Guy,
Yeah, because
punch
that
out lightning
happened.
bolts.
I only know of one type of herb that'll take you through time. Whatever kind of spinach it is, it sure ain't normal.
Not true. Popeye doesn't consume some special magical spinach. Any kind will do, even if it's handed to him by the audience in the real world watching his cartoon.
He can summon cans to his side by whistling for them, praying to gods, painting them into reality, or just waving his hand. The dude has literally been disintegrated into nothingness. Then his nothingness grabbed a spinach can out of nowhere and ate it. Nothing ate it. His nothing. And then he came back with his I don't know.
He can even punch so hard he tears the film strip he's being animated on, or exit his cartoon to beat the shit out of his own animator.
So Popeye's basically fought 2 different versions of God and whooped their asses.
Yeah.
You know, he's a pretty chill broski considering he's basically a spinach-eating Lovecraftian nightmare.
But
Oh my
he's
God.
always down for a scrap. So if you decide to antagonize him, be aware you're messing with one of cartoon's all-time heavyweight champions. And, for your own sake, eat your fucking vegetables.
Oh my God.
Popeye the Sailor Man.
Okay, I'm not even gonna
All right,
pause.
combatants are set. We've run the data
Popeye's
through all
definitely gonna win
possibilities.
because
It's
his
time
feats
for a
absolutely
death
outclass
battle!
Saitama's, and if you wield Toon Force, you're gonna win. That's like an unspoken rule. So I'm going for Popeye. I'm rooting for Saitama,
Man,
but I got
scrap's always so expensive. No thanks.
Guys, can't stand no one bad-mouthing me spinach. Put 'em up, yes, big palooka.
Whatever.
Fight!
There wasn't a 2 and a 100 here.
God, these look like shots to the real. These look like shots to the real world.
Well, blow me down. Ya ain't got a scratch on yas.
I know, right? Overwhelming strength is so boring.
I can't read that.
You can regenerate.
Huh?
You regenerated from nothing because of spinach.
Okay.
A little bit more interesting now.
Consecutive normal punches. I'm sorry, my reaction's pretty boring. It's just, yeah. And now they're transferring it to an 8-bit setting. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sure
Okay.
is one crazy gazookas.
I'm just a guy who's a hero for fun. Who the hell are you?
Yep, I am what I am, and that's all what I am.
Where did I hear that quote?
How am I gonna get back home?
I don't know. I can't remember where I heard that quote. Maybe. Oh, that might have been Prince of Egypt. And now it's 3D setting. Okay. This is interesting. I like how they're using different animation styles for this one. That's really cool. Still haven't seen the serious punch. Death. Spinach. Wow.
Amazing! This is amazing! How did you get so strong?
I eat me spinach.
Oh my god, they're doing this now? Oh.
Can this be? My heart's beating so fast. My muscles ache. I can feel them again.
That's all I can stand, 'cause I can't stand no more.
I never thought it would happen. A serious fight.
I found it!
Thank you, weird spinach mascot.
Didn't get to enjoy it for long. Yep, I knew it. Oh, he transformed Saitama into eggs. Yeah.
He took a big gamble, but now he is scrambled. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Heyo!
Oh, well, I guess you could say that fight was Over easy? Wait, except isn't Saitama's whole gag that he can't lose?
It is, but it's more nuanced than that. Despite breaking his limiter, Saitama's strength isn't limitless. He's said so himself.
Breaking his limiter meant his potential strength was likely infinite, but there's nothing left in his world powerful enough to push him to get stronger, like a bodybuilder stuck with 5-pound dumbbells.
He also doesn't possess some magical ability to kill someone in one punch regardless of effort. Powerful adversaries like Boros and Garo have survived his blows repeatedly, albeit
True.
briefly, and he's never met anyone quite like Popeye the Sailor Man.
According to the mangaka, One Punch Man's gag is that Saitama is an anime protagonist at the end of his series, slapped in at the beginning of his series, where he's too strong to have a challenge.
So, if we know Saitama's strength does have a limit, what is it?
We know he can deflect Boros' planet-destroying blast, but he was clearly super casual about it. He may have called it his serious punch, but that's the joke. He's only now getting kind of serious.
In order to get as generous a number as possible, let's assume Saitama was exerting the least amount of effort he could to throw that punch. Since he's still technically a human, we can assume the ratio between the least amount of effort possible and the most is relatively consistent with other humans. Let's just say he burns the equivalent of only 1 calorie relative to the strongest punch ever recorded, which was over 1,000 joules. For reference, the average person burns about 1 calorie a minute doing absolutely nothing. So this is assuming Saitama is literally as casual as physically possible.
That'd make his strongest punch about 200 times greater than his weakest. Using Boros' energy blast as a base, Saitama's theoretical strongest punch would be over 11 yotatons of TNT. That's absolutely insane. Enough to annihilate Uranus 4 times over.
Well, that's impressive, but that's still far less than Popeye's star-busting power, which was millions of times greater. Sure, this is only an estimate. We don't know Saitama's full strength exactly. But the point is, whatever it may be, it can be measured.
That's right, but trying to compare them with just numbers isn't the whole story.
While Saitama can break his world fairly easily, it's still a semi-realistic world that generally obeys the laws of physics.
Popeye and his world, on the other hand, can't really be measured at all. The dude's occupied 2 places at the same time, ripped the film strip he's animated on, and knocked out the guy drawing him. Can't do math to figure that out. Popeye's just on a whole other level of bullshit.
Even if Saitama was strong enough to kill Popeye in 1 punch, Popeye has survived being fully disintegrated, only to recover good as new. Hell, God turned off all of reality and Popeye just ignored it.
And on the flip side, there was nothing stopping Popeye from just turning Saitama into a bunch of eggs, which he can do without spinach. So even if Popeye was weaker, he'd still have a way to finish the job in 1 punch.
Saitama was easily one of the strongest combatants we've ever seen, but pure strength was no match for Popeye's insane power, survivability, and plain old cartoon shenanigans.
If you thought
Toon Force wins every time, what did I say?
Now you know, Popeye's spinach can.
The winner is
Popeye. Yep.
And that's a wrap for our anniversary season.
That wasn't the most interesting matchup, I'm gonna be honest, but
decade. Here's to another as Death Battle will return in 2022.
Alright. See if I recognize some of these people. Akira? Boba Fett? Oh, I just saw Scarlet Witch. Oh, who are they? Oh, I'm excited to see the Scarlet Witch. That's gonna be an interesting one. Okay. So, again, unfortunately, that wasn't the greatest reaction out of me. I apologize for that, and I, of course, apologize for the late upload. It was very late, but if you saw my post on Twitter, you know that I was recovering from a big flu at the time this episode came out, and then the holidays happened, so this is basically the best time that I had to record it. So, hope you enjoyed it anyways. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think of the episode, and I will see you all in 2022. Hopefully things will be better. I'm the Crocodile King. Have a great holiday season, everybody.